The following piece contains gratuitous use of the N-word. And by N-word, I mean nigger. There, I said it.
Good morning, world.
Good morning, world. Hope you enjoy this final and last episode of Cedric and Brian. I'm the N-word, Cedric.
And I'm Brian, and this is Cedric and Brian. Alright, so we are giving you fair warning. Today we are talking about the word
Nigger.
What word are we talking about?
Nigger.
You can't say the word nigger, only I can.
I didn't say the word, did I?
What word?
Nigger.
This is going to be a long show.
Well, we're talking about this obviously because of all the hot water that Joe Rogan got in from, he doesn't even use the word anymore, but from stuff that he used, not in a derogatory way.
Right.
Just talking about the word. And to put it in context,
For the last 15 years, a man named Clayton Bigsby has been the leading voice of the white supremacist movement in America. Though not sold in any major bookstores, his books Dump Truck, Nigger Stain, I Smell Nigger, and Nigger Book have sold over 600,000 copies combined. Despite his popularity,
are we canceled yet?
No, not yet.
Just hang with us. I know you're probably already offended that old white guy is using that word, but just
very few
keep watching.
have ever seen him due to his reclusiveness, but in an effort to bring his message to a wider audience, he agreed to give his first public interview ever to Frontline. But getting to Mr. Bigsby was an odyssey in itself, riddled with backcountry hollers, shifty go-betweens, and palpable danger.
Excuse me. Not sure we're in the right place. We're looking for Clayton Bigsby.
Look no further, fella. You found me.
Clayton Bigsby, the author?
What, you don't think I can write them books? Just 'cause I'm blind don't mean I'm dumb.
How could this have happened? A black white supremacist.
Sir, my message is simple. Niggers, Jews, homosexuals, Mexicans, Arabs, and all kinds of different chanks stink!
That's
So-
a classic.
So these words, just because we know how the world has changed, these words were written by Dave Chappelle
Yep.
for that actor to read.
Yes.
And he didn't get canceled.
No. And then Dave Chappelle did exactly what Joe Rogan shouldn't have did. Dave Chappelle's last stand-up, he said, I am not going to apologize.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that he didn't. And that's the big mistake that Joe Rogan made, is that he apologized.
Nothing that Joe Rogan said
No.
in that context was racist.
No, he was reading it based on what someone else had said. And we all know that it was just hypocrisy because Joe was getting too big, pointing out other lives on the left. So they said, we got to find a way to take this guy down. So let's go back 10, 15, 20 years and find all the things that he did wrong.
The people that compiled that list of him stringing together the N-word over how many thousands of episodes to make him look bad, they're funded by, I think it's called the Patriot Takes, which is part of a super PAC that funds Democrats. So this whole thing is all political.
Yes.
Has nothing to do with Joe Rogan being a racist, but of course, most people don't pay attention to the news, so they're just going to go. In fact, let me play another clip for you, Cedric.
Yes.
'Cause I want you to see
And if
this.
you guys are offended already, you guys know me and Brian's style. We like to take stuff like this and we have fun with it. So relax and enjoy the ride.
On the video, he's not directing the N-word at anybody, okay?
Yeah.
They're either discussing the word itself or he's quoting someone. Do you care?
Yeah.
Do you guys care?
Absolutely not.
Hell no.
To be honest, I'm not really in the position, being white, to comment on it really necessarily, but it's offensive and it's not our choice. It's not his choice and shouldn't be using it.
It is kind of a debate, you know what I'm saying? If you see people throwing that shit around back and forth, it's like, all right, what are we doing? Are we oppressing ourselves?
He said he hasn't used it in the last few years, but do you think Spotify should remove him because of that?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Did you guys hear about the scandal recently with the N-word being used?
Yeah, he's terrible.
He's terrible?
He should be off Spotify. I'm behind Neil Young all the way.
Do you care?
No. I mean, like, he's not saying nothing bad to me, so I don't care. I don't give a
I don't care.
What about you?
Not at all.
I'm providing full context for people. That video with the N-word being used, it was like a montage, basically.
Right.
None being directed at anybody, but quoting people or...
It doesn't matter. It's offensive.
Doesn't matter. Why does anybody even listen to that idiot?
It means that we haven't evolved at all and learned our lessons.
Take him off Spotify.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're saying cancel him, take him off Spotify, all of that stuff. And we're talking to a lot of black Americans today that are saying, I don't care. Why do you guys think that is?
Because at the end of the day, people know who can and who cannot use that word. And if you are being a true journalist and you're quoting someone, a quote is a quote.
If he's just using it, you have to look at the context of how he's using the word.
If anything that George Floyd taught us was to open our eyes and actually see what's in front of us and actually address it, not just keep ignoring it. And by keeping him on, we're ignoring it.
Do you say it?
It's not being... I don't use the word, but...
Have you ever used it around you? The camera guy's black. You guys are friends. Not even the song, Kanye song.
There might have been a time where I've dropped that word in a song. I would not be surprised by that.
Oh, well, no. I wouldn't care. I'd sing it with you.
Would you have a problem if white people went around calling each other the N-word?
I don't know. I'd find it unusual, maybe. It's just a weird word. You know?
I don't even think I'd care about that.
All the going on in the world, that's the last thing I'm worried about.
Do you think that they should remove him off Spotify for that?
I don't think so. I mean, shunning is not proven to work in this case. I mean, he, again, like you said, he was not using the word in a malicious way.
The white people,
the white liberals,
they got so offended.
The white liberals
got so offended by it.
Well, the one white lady, she lost all credibility when she said, the one thing we can learn from George Floyd.
No.
I'm like, okay, you lost all credibility.
I'm rapping along to your song, and you drop the N-word. Yeah. Should I pause?
No. No.
No, just keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
We use this word so damn loosely, talking about our women, talking about ourselves, and we don't even know we're doing it.
As a white man, I have absolutely no say in this.
Yeah.
But I am going to just put in my 2 cents and say, I personally believe it's a word that nobody should use. And as you get rid of this word, you don't hear Jewish people calling themselves kike. Oh, what's up, my kike?
You can't get rid of the word.
You don't hear Asian people using racial slurs with each other.
We use it more than anybody. We use it more on anybody, and we're not offended for calling each other that. But when you got friends and other motherfuckers that use this word, now we get offended. Why are we complaining and we the number one victims of ourselves?
It was always the big cop-out is that it was a word that black people used to take the power away during slavery. So it's like, we'll call each other that. It's kind of like the person who's severely overweight making fun of themselves first before anyone else does it. Right. And it takes the power away from you. Yeah. But like this gentleman said here, he goes, you're being a hypocrite. Yeah. And we talked about like in books and art and literature, if you're going to use the word among black people, then everyone should be allowed to use it.
This rapper brought a white female up on stage. And here's one thing that's funny. I don't go to rap concerts, but every clip I watch, there's a huge white presence in rap concerts because white kids like rap music. So he invites this white kid up, this white girl, to sing the song. The song has 21 uses of the N-word in it. So she sings it, he stops, he says, oh, you're going to have to censor that. And she goes, oh, it's just singing it like you wrote it. So what do you say?
But see, and here's where the hypocrisy comes in. You bring up this young white lady or young black lady or young Asian lady. If the word hoe or skank or female dog is in there, everyone's allowed to say it and no one bats an eye.
Right.
Then that's okay.
And it should be intent. And I cut out that one clip of the guys on the beach and the one shaved head black guy, or he had a hat on, the two guys standing next to each other. he said, here's what the intent is, because the word boy is just something, you know, boys and girls. But if I were to say to Cedric, okay, full disclosure, I've said this joking around, okay?
Yes.
If I were to say, you know, get over here, boy, that's disrespectful and derogatory.
Right.
But the word boy in itself
Right.
is not disrespectful or derogatory.
Right.
So what they're saying, what some of these people are saying on there is using the term, quoting something that's
Right.
not in a derogatory way, or like that one guy said, you know, ma, and then using the word. If it's not derogatory, it's no different than boy if you're not using boy derogatory.
Exactly. I have a good friend of mine who's white. She lives in Texas, and her kids are mixed race. And her son was running late for school one day or doing whatever, and she said, "Boy, stop doing that." Well, the kids answered, "You can't call him boy." It's like, well, he's my
son.
All you moms out there, boy, come here. Boy, stop doing that. But it shouldn't change because the mom is white and the son is a person of color. Now they're saying, well, now you can't say it. It's like, well, that's being hypocritical. That's being asinine and stupid.
Yeah, and there's, again, it's the intent. She's not being derogatory to her son. And if she is, it's what every parent is going to say sometimes when they're mad at their son, but she wasn't even saying it as a racial slur.
No.
And if you have a kid, and you can speak to this because Cedric's kids are half black and half white, so what are you only being half racist to him? Right. It's dumb. Yeah. A couple more examples.
The word started as a racist thing many years ago.
I like right there. This is what you talk about. You hear how many times he said many?
Means a whole lot.
And we don't view it as that no more unless it's being really just the context of it. So like, how can we tell everybody hip hop is for everybody? How can we really tell everybody, yo, if you white, hip hop's for you. If you Chinese, hip hop's for you. And we say nigga all day. And they think that's what's cool. So if they like, yo, what's up, my nigga? Oh shit, you a racist. You know they ain't really mean it racist.
Yeah, and here's again the hypocrisy, and he touched on this very well. Fat Joe did. I hate the term.
You know Fat Joe?
Yes, I know Fat Joe. We're tight. You can't go around saying that's our word. There's no such thing. There's no you can't put a patent on a word or a phrase. But that's what blacks got away with, and like you alluded to, Brian, like that was many years ago, and that's what they did with Joe Rogan. They had to go way back in time. And I heard someone say, I think it was Matt Walsh, he said there should be a statute of limitations on things like that. If it didn't offend you 20 years ago, why in the heck is it offending you now?
And they're also taking another thing, just to sidetrack here, Joe Rogan, because they're just going to keep piling on until they try to cancel him. He made a statement, and I even saw, what's the South African guy on Comedy Central?
Oh, you got me there.
Anyways, he was covering this, and he always builds a straw man, and he always sets things up wrong, and I can't remember his name right now. But he played something out of context. So Joe Rogan said something that did sound very offensive. He said he went and watched Planet of the Apes, and he got dropped off, and Joe Rogan, he said, I was stoned.
There's another clip that I have to address. There's a clip from 11 years ago. I was telling a story on the podcast about how me and my friend Tommy and his girlfriend, we got really high. We were in Philadelphia, and we went to go see Planet of the Apes. And we didn't know where we were going. We just got dropped off by a cab, and we got dropped off in this all-black neighborhood. And I was trying to make the story entertaining, and I said, we got out, and it was like we were in Africa. It's like we were in Planet of the Apes. I did not, nor would I ever say that black people are apes, but it sure sounded like that. And I immediately afterwards said, that's a racist thing to say.
The host from Comedy Central didn't play that part, so he insinuated that Joe Rogan, and so also that that Patriot Takes, the ones who compiled it, they made it sound like Joe Rogan was calling black people apes.
Well, yeah, and that's why they spin it.
Let me play one more clip, because I like this one, because our favorite word is hypocrisy. So I'm going to play this clip.
Until we stop using the word nigga, we can't get mad at nobody else for using the word nigga. If something's bad, it's bad. Period. It can't be good when I do it, but bad when you do it. That makes no fucking sense. If you really want to make a stand against the N-word, stop using it. People aren't gonna treat you how they see you treating yourself. If I'm constantly running around saying, yeah, what's up, my nigga? How you, my nigga? I got love for you, my nigga. And then as soon as somebody else says, oh, nigga, or from another race, you all up in arms, that's being a hypocrite. And I ain't never been into being no hypocrite.
So you don't care why people use that word?
No, because I'm not a hypocrite. And I'm gonna tell you something else. That ER as opposed to GA, philosophy they use about to justify their use of it is utter bullshit. Nigga, it's all the same thing.
Well, that's the end of the show. He hit the nail right on the head. It's like it's completely hypocritical, and it's not a word that I use. Back in the old days, listening to NWA and Public Enemy and things like that, if it came up in the midst of a song, I said it. And in full disclosure here, during my high school and college days, being around my other friends of color, my other black friends, we said it to each other. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember what age I was where I finally decided, like, I'm too old to be doing this. Yeah. It's just I'm better than that.
But it's hard as a white guy. As a white guy who hangs out with a black guy most of our days, I never even have the idea of saying it because he doesn't say it. So as these rappers talk about with the younger crowd, that's how they greet each other.
Yeah.
So if you're a white kid and your black friends are constantly saying it, and then you're told not to, it's a very strange word. Mm-hmm. Because you hear it and hear it and hear it, but then you're forbidden to say it.
Oh yeah, you can be in an amusement park or other big place, a store, and you can hear like 4 or 5 guys saying the N-word to each other, and you walk around the aisle, it can be 5 white kids or 5 Asian kids, and they're all calling each other the N-word because it's kind of taking the place of the word dude or bruh. Last year we did the whole cancel culture cancels comedy, and when comedy was funny, you're looking at an individual while you guys were being read Dr. Seuss and Cat in the Hat. I was sitting with my dad on the sofa watching Richard Pryor, like that, and that word and my dad is one of 9 kids, 5 brothers. It word just flew around like it's no business. So it was something I grew up with.
Right.
Am I saying it's right? No, but it's just something I grew up and became a part of my culture.
Yeah, I mean it's just strange because there's no other word in the English language really that can only be used by one group of people.
Doesn't make sense.
And Joe Rogan now got canceled for it, even though 20 years ago you could read that, you could even use it in comedy, and you're not going to get canceled.
Yeah, and that's irritating because Joe Rogan, he used it to illustrate a point, and I'm not doing the whole well whataboutism thing, but here we go. Joe Biden can go give the eulogy for the head of the KKK and Robert Byrd, and no one bats an eye.
Well, not only that, but there's clips, and you can find them out there, where Joe Biden actually uses the N-word.
Yeah, and this is coming from the left, and you hear people who are saying, well, now men can get pregnant. Yeah, you won't catch COVID if you get the shot, and the polar ice caps are going to melt and things are going to flood away, and there's nothing going on with our Texas border. They lie constantly, and they will never apologize. And I know Brian wants to end up here. Just real quick about the whole apology with bugging about Joe Rogan. I don't like the fact that he apologized because if I do Brian wrong, first of all, he doesn't even know it. And you guys have been in that situation where someone's done you wrong and you're mad and you're irritated with them. They don't even know they did you wrong, and you want an apology. Learn to forgive people, and it's not for them. If I forgive Brian for something, it's not because for him, it's for me. So I'm not carrying around this anger and hate and animosity. The left doesn't even want to do that to you because they want to continue to hate you. They want to continue to have animosity towards you. And so when Joe Rogan apologized, it wasn't so they could wrap his arms around him and say, oh, we forgive you. They wanted to say, now we got you.
Yeah.
Now we don't want to forgive you. We just want to make you feel even worse what you did, and now we can keep you from speaking out.
Yeah, because they don't want to forgive him. They want to cancel him. And everybody says, oh, cancel culture doesn't really exist. Well, then why do they keep coming out with more and more against Joe Rogan? They want him off the air because he's popular, and he's a libertarian. He's liberal leaning. I mean, he's a Bernie bro.
Right.
So it's just the fact that if you don't lockstep with the left, if you don't have everything exactly the same, they don't want your voice heard. Whereas we like Joe Rogan, even though half the stuff he talks about on there, he's pretty vulgar. He talks about getting stoned all the time. He's not a religious guy. To the point I know he's spiritual.
Right.
But it doesn't mean we want to cancel the guy. And when we like the things that he says, great. When we don't, fine.
Well, and regardless of who Joe brings on, he'll bring on someone from the right, he'll bring on someone from the left. Joe has the ability to say, hold on 1 second. That doesn't make sense. No matter who it is.
Right.
He's like, that doesn't make sense. Explain that to me more. And he has the ability to call that out because he's not afraid of being canceled.
It's a conversation.
Yeah, and Spotify, they're not gonna get rid of him because I don't think Spotify owns Joe. I think Joe owns Spotify.
Right. Not only that, I'm going to go back to, because it used to be growing up, it was actually people on the right that people would complain about people canceling because, oh, that's vulgar, that's this, that's that. Guess what I used to say back in the day as a teenager? Guess what you can do? Turn the channel. You don't have to listen to Joe Rogan.
Right.
So why are these people so mad? Even let's say he did say it with, remember the shock jock that always talked trash about women back in the day?
It's either Howard Stern or Tom Likas.
Likas.
Yeah.
I mean, Stern was bad too. Likas was the most misogynist, worst. He didn't get canceled. You just didn't listen to it if it was too bad.
For you older guys, you guys remember the curriculum he had, Likas 101. And
what was that? What was it, Friday?
Flash Friday.
Flash Friday.
He said, you're driving, have the high beams on, and girls are supposed to flash. He was the worst, but he did it for that reaction.
Yeah.
It was marketing for him.
And guess what? If you didn't want to listen to it, you didn't listen to that station. So all of you people out there that don't like Joe Rogan, just don't listen to him. I mean, it's ridiculous that everybody that people don't like, they have to cancel instead of just turning the channel.
Yeah. We don't have 11 million viewers yet like Joe Rogan, but Joe, if you're listening to this coming from the black guy, love you, dude. I am just very disappointed that they got you to apologize. You would never have to apologize to me because you are great at what you do, and I'm sorry they got you to that point.
And you understood the context of what he was saying.
It's no big deal. All right, you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you leave the comments, I know you will, and don't be a hypocrite. Make sure you like, subscribe, ring that bell, and share this video with everyone you know. And until next time, continue being good to each other. Until next time, I'm Cedric.
And I'm Brian.